with the eyes and things. So I just kind of like kept drawing her and kept refining this design. And sometimes she has like a basic enough design that I'm like, this is what she would look like in this universe, or this is what she would look like in this property. And so like she kind of became my character that I was like, this is fun if I want to make fan art, but also what would she look like? Like what kind of character would I make? And then I was trying to I thought it was a really fun way to like bring her to life, because my friends started playing D&D in the pandemic, and I would draw art of her character and that campaign. And then I was like, Seraphina's kind of like magical and not really like a human, but kind of a human. What would it look like if they were next to each other? What's their story? And it just kind of like became this weird little like own personal fantasy fanfic kind of thing for me and my friend. And then when I started playing D&D, I was like, oh, how could I make her make sense in this world? Because this is kind of what this is where she would thrive. This is kind of like exactly where I wanted to put her, but I didn't realize I could, or I didn't realize D&D existed. And so then that's what Roxanne became, because that's why I went to you and I was like, I think it'd be really cool. I have this idea. I have a lot of themes sewn together very loosely, but I think it makes more sense for her to be a human, but I don't think she's from Zerdani. What have you got? And then the whole 16-story backstory is like completely original and specific to this.
Right.
And that's what she became.
It's fucking cool.
Very cool.
And I love her. I love her a lot.
And that's why you want to retire her and start a new character?
I don't want to retire her. I want to take a break. This is what's hard, because she's at a crossroads right now, and she's been at it for a while. But every point where I'm like, she either turns or she takes a step forward, it doesn't feel right quite yet. And maybe that's just me being a pussy and being like, okay, just make a decision and do it and then see what happens. And it might be. And so I might, like, in the next session be like, hey, when is Magnus playing next? Let's go find your bear. Also, let me go home for a minute. Oh, scary, weird. Because I have no plan. Or I can bring in my super silly character that I have been wanting to play, because I'm just like, she's so sad, and it makes sense, and I wrote her that way, but I don't want to always be that character when I play in this world.
Right.
Because I do want to have fun, and I do have fun playing her with her, but I also think sometimes I do feel limited by that 16-page backstory, and it could just be me being like, you don't always have to go back to it. You can go forward. You can change the rules however you want, because it's your character. But yeah, that's my thoughts right now. And I also do just want to make another character for this world, because I think it's really fun to explore it in a different way with a completely different set of eyes and perspectives.
Well, that's also like one of the things, right, where it's like the whole point, you're dangerously close to getting to tier 2, and
right.
You're already there.
I'm already there.
And it's like you can only have one character per tier. But like one of the issues is that like a lot of the new players coming in are at they're at level 1. And I have to balance for tier 2 characters. So if people start making second characters that are level 1 and 2 and whatnot, and just leave them at level 3, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's like by choice, then a level 3 character playing with a level 1 character, the balance is a lot better.
Yeah.
And, it's like, it becomes like a narrative choice that it's like, no, I don't want to ramp this character up to tier 2 or get it to like level 6, because that makes it worse. Like the game is now bad. And then it's like, okay, you know, like, and that's the whole reason why it's like you only get one per tier. But then you can shift up to the tier 2 and be like, I want to fight like a bunch of strong ass monsters. I want to kill a dragon. Great. You can go kill a dragon. Great. Well, I want to go adventure with this new player and like go kill some goblins, but like not be worried that Liam has to throw a dragon at us or else like, you know, I'm going to stomp all over them and the end. And it's like that, like, that's the whole point. That's the whole point of adding a secondary character into this. But yeah, I mean, you're literally at that point and you're also like not making a stronghold.
I'm not, because I don't know if that's what she would want to do. I don't know if that's where her mind is at. Because I'm like, this also makes sense why our backstory differences are so funny and make a lot of sense. Because I'm very, like, I'm like vibes first kind of player. And very much like, what kind of person do I want to create to exist in this world? And then even further than that, as more of an outside view, what kind of story do I want to tell? Or what story potential do I want to go after? So I don't really think about numbers a lot. I think about them sometimes, but also that is like secondary to me. So I'm very much like a role play first kind of person because I'm an actor and I'm annoying. But so I think a lot about where she is at this point with all she knows and doesn't know, and everything she finds out, it just gets worse and worse and worse to the point where she's like, I don't know if I want to know anymore. Because if I know it, then what? She's feeling, it's that thing where she feels very powerless. Even she's feeling a lot more powerless than she is. So it's and I've been sitting in it for months because I'm like, I don't know what the next step is for her. Because I was like, I know where she wants to go, or I know where I want her to go. And I know where she needs to go to actually progress her story and to progress her development. But she's been hiding behind helping other people work out their problems, and that feels right now because she's just still processing, avoiding what is happening, like the actual like dark truth of her family and everything, because it's far worse than she imagined.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful lie that you tell yourself. Right. Yeah. Which I think is such a great like story and like character device. Like you're holding yourself in a pattern. You don't know, you're resistant to stepping through the threshold. And if you just help enough other people, you won't have to deal with your problems, or someone will magically save you from yours. Right. Which isn't the case.
It's a lot of like, maybe if I just keep going, I'll fail upwards and like something will happen.
Right.
And oh no, everything's solved. Oh, thank God. It's
right.
Yeah, it's
or that it won't cost you something in order to solve it.
Right. It won't cost me all of the wonderful things that I have found.
Right.
That I found that I don't want to lose.
Right. I wonder if this
I have something to lose.
I wonder if this is also a little bit of falling in love with your character. And like when you're telling a story, you have to be the most cruel to the ones you love the deepest.
Yeah.
Right? You have to send them to the depths of hell in order for them to reach the pinnacles of success.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so I think you love your character a whole lot too. Totally. I totally respect that. Absolutely. I'm not knocking you for it by any means, but I just think it's interesting of like where you're at as a sort of like performer and a writer in this sense, that you're sort of like caught in the midsection of like, I got to go on the story, but the story's really scary and I can't do it. So it's like, You kind of got to like something. This is the point where like the refusal to the call to adventure.
Yes.
Right. And so now something has to push you off the ledge or you have to find a parachute so that you can jump. Right.
Yeah. Which I think is really interesting to your point, which you said to me like a couple, like however many months ago, where you were like, I don't see about Roxanne is like, I don't see a character who like wants to be the hero and like wants to save the day, but I see somebody who's very reluctant, but willing. Mm-hmm. And like, that's interesting. And it's one of those things where like it is one of those things where like I didn't realize it was happening while I was doing it. And then now that I'm aware, I'm like, as a writer, it's like the weird cross section of being the creator and the performer, of being like, it's like, how much control do I let go? But also what are the railings that I put on to guide it the way that feels right? So she is like so that's why she reads as so reluctant in a lot of like leaving Eventide now.
And so this is the other thing, right? Where it's like, there is that push with they're reluctant, right? And there's that push to adventure instead of the call, right? It's like you're getting forced, and it's like Clara did that. Mm-hmm. And we ended the session there when you like literally went down the rabbit hole. And
that's next time I'm able to play, we're going to do that.
Okay.
We're going to do that because I feel like that is also what's missing.
Well, a lot of people are asking the question, right? It's like, well, where is the plantation? What's the yeoman and all that crap? Like, what is the deal with that? And the answer is like, in the same way that I don't want to, like, just innately, I don't want to tell the story of the Greenwood without Phelan, because she's so ingrained in the politics of that place. I don't want to tell too much of the Fist of Iron without Roxanne. Mm-hmm. And also, like, that one's so much easier, though, because number one, we have a fucking castle that like people need to defend in like the next 4 weeks, by the way. Yeah. It's like,
we're aware.
Yeah.
We know. Izzy updated us. We have 5 weeks.
Like there's a time constraint.
Yeah.
Damn it. There's a deadline.
There's a deadline. I threw that on there because like the last one I didn't throw a deadline on, and that went on for 9 months, I think. Like from the start of planning it to like when we actually played it, that was, I think it was somewhere around 7 to 9 months of wait time. This though, because strongholds are timely and like, it is literally like you build a stronghold and in X number of days you get a stronghold. Like there's also like, the world evolves when you're not in there. That's the whole point. Like the NPCs and the factions and all that stuff are still existing. And because players are existing and whether you're in there or not, the world moves on. So like there's a castle that they know the deed exists. They know that there is like no one defending it currently. They're going to fucking take it. Like it is a valuable resource. And they're like, great. This is when we will attack it. And if you're not there to defend it, we're taking it. Goodbye. Like, and so like it narratively works. But the Fist of Iron is one of those things where it's like, it is shrouded in mystery by design. Like, cause no Good Thieves Guild is not shrouded in mystery. Of
course.
And the cool part about working in Thieves Guild is going deeper into it and uncovering some of the mysteries of it. And it's, and finding more of the mysteries that lie beneath. Right. And it was like, it was that moment where I feel everyone in the room or like the Discord was like, oh, what are we going to learn? And then you were like, no, I signed on to help someone else do something else. So we're not going to learn that. And there was like, everyone going like, yeah, you're right.
What did I do?
When was this? It was just kind of like you, like the session.
It when I disappeared?
Yeah, you disappeared. Like, and
because it was me It was Roxanne, Phelan, and Val.
Yeah.
And they were asking questions.
Yeah.
And Phelan was like, don't leave. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye.
See ya.
But yeah, and that was the whole thing. You were like, yeah, we'll talk about that later. And we never did.
And now it's later, and now we're going to talk about it.
Right now.
Right now.
All right, roll for initiative. Here we go. So I think.
Liam!
Yo, it's a 14 on the die, broski.
But Liam, what if they kissed? It's a 15.
I rolled a 17. So we're gonna go. This is getting saved for a second, like the Roxanne episode.
Okay, work.
This is getting saved for the Roxanne episode. I don't know who's editing this. I think it's gonna be John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John.
Hi, John. Thank you, John.
John.
If not John, sorry, John.
Yeah,
sorry, not John.
It might not be John. It might be me.
Oh, hi,
In
Liam.
which case, future me. I know. I'm right there with you, bud. I'm sorry, dude. I know, and I know that you know, and I know now it's so meta that you hate this. So